This is my presentation for confidence interval. I wanted to find out what proportion of high school students do this thing every day. So I sent out on social media a question, do you do this thing? And the responses were yes or no. And I got 45 yeses, 105 no's, and that is 30% yes and 70% no. I got a nice pie graph here. I was able to do a bar chart if I wanted to on Untitled.com. I thought this was pretty good. So when I started doing my four-step procedure, I started with state. The parameter I'm looking for is the true proportion P of high school students that do this thing every day. I chose my confidence level to be 95%. So I wanted to do a one sample Z interval for proportions P. So I checked my two conditions, randomness, yes, I randomly selected my peers on social media. And then I had to do a little bit of work to check my normal distribution. So I had to find P hat, which did the number of yeses divided by the total. So 45 divided by 150 got me that 30%, 0.3, which I can check on, I'm pointing to it. The relative frequency there is 30%. And then my sample size is 150. And then we multiplied n times p, saw that was 45, so that was greater than or equal to, actually that should be 10, greater than or equal to 10. And so that 150 times 30% is 45, and that is indeed greater than or equal to 10. And then n times 1 minus p would be 150 times, that'll be 0.7. That'll give me 105, and that is greater than or equal to 10. So you might recognize these numbers, 45 yeses, 105 no's. So due to the large counts conditions here, we can assume that the sample distribution will be normally distributed, and we can go to the next step. We're going to find the confidence interval, take the sample proportion, add and subtract our critical z-score times our standard deviation. So sample proportion we had, that's my p hat, 45 times 150 is 0.3 still. Sample standard deviation, I need the square root of p times 1 minus p divided by n. So that's the square root of 0.3 times 0.7 divided by 150. And that gives me about 0.0374. My critical z-score for a confidence interval of 95%, we can see that that's 1.96. See that from our table A, our z distribution table. So I'm going to take my p hat, add and subtract my critical z-score times the sample standard deviation. And I ended up with, can't see it, 0.2267 to 0.3733. So I can say that I'm 95% confident that the interval of 0.2267 to 0.3733 captures the true proportion of high school students that do this thing every day. So I wanted to check that on Statlet. So I went to statlet.com. This is where I got my graph from. Variable name, put in my category names and my frequency. I have a pie chart. I could switch that to a bar chart or a segmented bar chart. I thought the pie chart looked the best. And I scrolled all the way down. This is where I got my summary statistics. And then I wanted to perform an inference. I can click this and find one sample Z interval. The category I want to indicate as a success is yes. My confidence level I typed in there. Perform inference, and I get 22.7% to 37.3%. And that is basically what I got. If I change this to a decimal or a percentage, it'd be 22.7 and 37.33. And I can see that also here on statlet.com. So I did a good job.